Awesome. Awesome. Well, we got a lot of different avenues of commercial real estate on today. So, you're going to learn a whole lot, I imagine. We all are. I'm super excited for that. So
Yeah,
great
so am
stuff.
I. So, hey, can I reach out to you guys to meet up offline? After this is
Totally.
over with.
Yeah, that's what it's
Sure.
all about. Yep.
Good
Yep.
deal.
Definitely.
Good deal.
Yeah. Anyone
Hey,
that
Dylan.
wants,
Hey,
who's
Dylan.
tuning in? Hey,
Thaisa.
how's it going?
Hey, I
Hey,
joined very early, and I was just waiting
hanging
for you
out.
guys to get set up. Just saying hi here. I'm calling from Flower Mound, Texas, DFW area, and
Awesome.
I am beginning stages of real estate, focusing on multifamily for the
Okay.
moment, and
Awesome.
but interested in the Atlanta area. So that's why I'm here today, and to learn some more of opportunities. I think you guys are going to touch on different asset classes. So that's my
That's right.
goal for being here.
Well, you're in a great spot. I mean, there's going to be a lot of, I think I already know several people that are going to be from DFW tuning in. I call that the Mecca of multifamily because
Yeah,
I think
right.
there's so many large complexes there across the board. So you're in a great position and great place. So definitely excited to see what you learn and you learn about, like you said, a number of other things as well, I'm sure. The whole focus that Rashad and I have been bouncing off each other is how do we take the best of the best in these different aspects and start to share their strong points, right? If you look at certain asset classes, like say single family, for instance, there's oftentimes very, very granular with their market research. They're very good at being able to have systems in place to follow up and track their deals. Whereas in other asset classes, like I'd say multifamily, we become a little bit more broker reliant, right?
Mm-hmm.
We look at mobile homes, right? They're great at creating data lists and being able to apply that. So these are the kind of things that we're thinking about is how do we have everyone teach on the skill sets and the things that they're best at, and we can apply that to any of our unique asset classes, right? And ultimately allow us to step out of the silo for a day and get familiar with what's out there, keep our head on a swivel, and go out there and apply it.
Absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity. I guess Corona is helping us to meet online. I don't think I would have made this conference if it wasn't for what's happening in the country right now. So there are doors that get closed, others get open. So I'm excited to be here.
That's right. It's been a few months of innovation, right? It's been a lot of new doors
Absolutely.
open, I think, for everyone here. So
There's no going back.
that's right. That's right. I think it's very exciting. Hey, Rod, how's it going?
Hey, Rod.
The morning green juice? I think you're on mute. Let me
You muted, Rod.
unmute you here.
I know.
There you go.
I'm old. Give me a break. Come on. Hey, guys. Welcome.
What's going on, Rod?
It is a beautiful day in paradise, my friends.
I know, right?
Oh,
Your background looks paradise.
Yeah, it is awesome. Awesome. Excited to have some fun with you guys today.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So let me see if get my camera working here so it's not all messed up. There we go. Okay. All right.
We're going to kick things off, and we'll give it about 10 minutes. Super excited for what you're going to bring to us this morning. I know you're going to bring the energy. You're going to get us all started with the right mindset, put us in the right headspace. And I think as a group, everyone's going to be able to get clear on how to go out there and apply what they're learning today through your kickoff speech here. So very excited about that.
Thank you. Well, I heard you talk about different asset classes and all that is really important. And I think, as you will find out when you guys tune in this morning, that the topic that I'm going to talk about, frankly, to me is over encompassing all of that and really, really important at this day and age. So looking forward to doing it.
Awesome.
Hey, Marcy. Is everybody still getting up?
Yep. Anyone that's on the line, we'd love for you to throw your video on and tune in. We love for you to be here. We want to make this as much like a real event as we can. Nate, how's it going? Good to see you, man. Roberto, how you doing? Great to see you on the line.
Hey, what's going on, Dylan?
Doing good.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, how you doing?
Sorry, I tried to, this is Marcy. I'm Rashad's sister-in-law, so I'm excited to be here today. I'm actually a lawyer in Atlanta, and I'm interested in getting into real estate. So this looks
Excellent.
good. Thank you.
Excellent.
Appreciate it. Glad to have you here.
We have it's a great background to get into real estate, and we have a lot of people from Atlanta tuning in here, so very cool. And I'm excited. I know there's gonna be a lot of follow-up networking going on after this event with everyone so close proximity. You know, and of course those that are virtual, remote, let's definitely be sure to be in touch. If you want to throw your email in the chat box, let people know who you are, what you're looking for. Feel free, right? This is all about networking, engaging. Want everyone here to get the most out of the time and the day today. So it's a long day. It's a marathon day that we've committed to, but we know that on the other side of this, everyone's going to come out being much stronger, much better. So we're excited for that. Clive, how's it going? Sid, Whitney?
It's going well. How you doing, Dylan?
Doing good. Doing good. Great to see you on here. Where are you tuning in from?
I'm here in Atlanta.
Okay, they're in Atlanta. All right,
Clive's
excellent.
Clive's a regular at the meetup.
Fantastic. Well, we've brought it virtual, and we're still not losing steam, right?
Right.
And Clive, what are you focused on? Are you focused on multifamily?
Yeah, I'm multifamily. I mean, I invest in commercial real estate more broadly, but the primary focus is multifamily.
Okay, excellent. Yep. Well, you're going to get a lot out of today. I know we have some of the best operators that I'd say some of the best operators across the country speaking today, and we've made this not solely for those in Atlanta. It's got obviously a theme behind it because this is something that comes from the group. But Rashad, without further ado, how about we'll just go cover a little bit of housekeeping here, and we'll start setting it off here. So I'm going to mute everyone for the time being, and we're going to have some more networking sessions throughout the day. So we'll do some more breakouts. So it's great getting a chance to connect. And then again, everyone that wants to tune in, show your cameras, be able to participate. We want this to be as much like a real event as we can. And let's see. So I'm going to mute all. I'm going to unmute Rashad. And then if anyone wants to, typically during the speaking session, so there's two different views on Zoom. If you're not familiar with using Zoom, you have both the speaker view and the gallery view. The speaker view is typically what we encourage you to view from as you're going through the panel sessions, as you're going through the keynote sessions, because that's going to give you direct access to viewing the speaker the whole time. The gallery view is fantastic for when you're going into the Q&A, because you can see everyone's face, you can participate, you can get to know who else is on the call. So that's the idea there. And let me just filter to get to Rashad and unmute. All right, so Rashad, let's kick it off without further ado and start off by first discussing a little bit of how this all came about. Do you want to start us?
Yeah, so back in 2018, Dylan had a meetup. This was before meetups was popular. Now it's the thing to do, but this was like the way before everyone was having the meetups. And so let me take a step back. The way I met Dylan, I actually was at Rod's event in LA. And I met Nick Davison, the guy, one of the speakers on the Fix and Flip panel. And he said he knew a guy in Atlanta that was doing multifamily. So me and Dylan, we hooked up, just right then. And ever since he had the multifamily meetup, I started going to his meetups. And, he went to Knoxville. He moved to Knoxville, and I took over the meetup. And we just kind of kept that relationship, and, we just stayed in touch and, stayed in the network. So, and here we are.
Yep. Yeah, it's amazing what those going out to the events, and it all starts at events like this, right? If it weren't for you meeting Nick Davison at Rod's event back, many years ago, that probably wouldn't have been initiated. You may not have came out to my initial Atlanta meetup, and
right.
I moved out to Atlanta not knowing anyone, literally no one. I just knew it was a good market to invest into. I had my aunt and uncle live outside of the city, so I stayed with them for a bit. And I went out there, and I knew I wanted to be in the Southeast. I literally left my W-2, took a massive risk to go across the country, and with just a few single families and a little bit of cash saved up, pursue multifamily, give it my all. I was young, wasn't married, no kids, right? So I took, I was able to take this chance, and I did. And through that process, I learned a tremendous amount, starting off with just networking and building relationships. That was how I was able to grow and, over time get to where now I've worked on about 50 million in total real estate transactions through syndications as a general partner and JV transactions. And that was all stemming, I say, as the meetup was really a launching pad for that, right? It wouldn't have been possible without that and without the connections that were built through that. So when I moved up to Tennessee, Rashad was someone that, I was plugging in with avidly, and he was able to take the reins on continuing to grow the meetup, continuing to build his own multifamily business and grow. And he's also growing in several different businesses, right? You have post-pro real estate, which is not just multifamily, but you're doing single family, you're doing fix and flip stuff, you're doing brokerage, right? So you have your hands on a lot of different things. I know you've even done some retail stuff, right? So you've really been able to get a wide perspective on real estate as a whole. And that's why Rashad and I, a few months back, were saying, well, we gotta do something here, right? 2 years ago, we did an Atlanta Multifamily Summit. We had 100 people out. It was all multifamily focused, and we had an awesome event. Those relationships led to a ton. And we said, well, how can we do this again amidst COVID and make this thing happen and keep that same environment virtually? And that's what led to the event that we're in today. So again, we appreciate everyone tuning in. We want this to be very interactive. We want people to be able to get to know each other, right? Even though we're virtual, we want this to be something where you're able to tune in, ask questions, share information, exchange, meet up in person after this craziness rolls over us. Even in Atlanta today with these events we were speaking about this morning, it's terrible what's going on there, and seeing the riots that are taking place. So it is kind of a crazy day to have this whole thing based around Atlanta, but we're making the most of it and using our time productively. And I applaud everyone on the call for doing so, right? And for taking action amidst COVID instead of, there's kind of two buckets. One bucket is kind of using this time to just kick back and wait till things blow over. The other bucket is investing into themselves and growing. So I think we have the absolute best person we could have on to kick this thing off and get us in the right mindset and headspace, right? This is someone that is absolutely dedicated, not just to the technicalities of real estate, but to the psychology that it takes to win in business and win in real estate, right? We have a guy that's actually went out there and owned over 2,000 homes and apartments. And I know it's well beyond that at this point. He's been actively being able to help a wide audience. He's had over 8 million downloads on his podcast, which is freaking incredible. And I know it doesn't need much of an introduction at this point, because I'm sure everyone on the line is already pretty familiar with them, but we're going to kick it off starting with Mr. Rod Kheif.
Yay! Hey guys, welcome. Yeah, some of the things you just said, Dylan, really hit home, because so many, and I want to salute you guys for being on this call right now. So many people are caught up in fear. They're caught up in distraction. They're focused on Netflix. They're doing anything they can to avoid what's happening right now, when successful people are doing what you're doing, learning, growing, innovating, pivoting. And I will tell you, I'm going to tell you my story here in a second, but we had to innovate and pivot. I was scheduled to have 700 or 800 people in Orlando at a live event 3 weeks ago, and we all know what happened with that. So, within a few days, we threw up a website, we took it virtual, and we had 900 people pay to participate and just pivoted. We innovated. And so I know some of you might be suffering, might have to think about, how do I innovate? How do I pivot? And so I want to salute you for being here, number one. So let me take just a second and tell you my story. I immigrated to this country when I was 6 years old with my mother, Zvantje, my brother, Albert. I was born in Holland, the Netherlands, and we immigrated, and I ended up in Denver, Colorado, where I lived for 30 years. And we didn't have much, I will tell you. I wore clothes from the Goodwill and the Salvation Army all the way through junior high school till I could get a job and buy my own clothes. I remember we had to eat expired food. I remember the day-old bread store. My mom gave us powdered milk because she thought milk was healthy at the time. And we really struggled. And I'm sure some of you may have it harder than we did, or have had it harder in the past. But, I knew I wanted more. And luckily, my mom had an incredible work ethic. So she babysat kids so we'd have enough money to eat. And she was a bit of an entrepreneur. She invested in the stock market and with very little education. And when I was 14, she bought the house across the street from us for $30,000 with her babysitting money. And then when I was 17, she told me that it had gone up $20,000 in her sleep. And I'm like, what? You made $20,000? You didn't do anything? Sorry, Mom, screw college. I'm getting into real estate. So right when I turned 18, I became a real estate broker, which, you know, back then you could do with education. And now they got smart. You have to be an agent first and have some experience before you can become a broker. But I was a broker within days of turning 18, and I was going to be rich in real estate. Well, my first year in real estate, I made about $8,000, maybe 10 grand. My second year, about the same, 10, 12 grand. But my third year, I made over $100,000, which back in 1981 was a decent chunk of money. So what happened between year 2 and year 3? Well, what happened was I discovered the power of mindset and psychology. So, you know, fast forward to today, like Dylan said, I've owned over 2,000 houses, lots and lots of apartments. We bought 1,000 last year, 1,000 doors. We're on track to double that this year. All those were with our students. And in 2006, my net worth went up $17 million while I slept. And you're thinking, wow, he's so smart. Well, there's a punchline. Okay. And you know how that happens when you, and you know, that's about $8,000 an hour, just so you guys know, on a 40-hour week, which of course I did. And I thought I was a real estate god. I thought I could do no wrong. My head got so big, I could barely fit it through a door. And you know, when that happens, God or the universe will give you a nice smack. Well, that was 2008 for me. I lost that 17 million and a lot more. I lost $50 million in 2008. And so one of the things that what I want to talk about today, you're going to learn some wonderful real estate guys today, lots of incredible technical knowledge. But I want to tell you what it took to have 50 million to lose in the first place, and what it took to get back to the success that I enjoy today. And it's mindset. Okay. It's in, you know, I thought I was set for life back in 2007 and 2006. I thought 800 baby boomers getting old and getting cold. I thought Florida was recession proof, and, you know, I'd be on the back of my yacht right now. Well, who knew it was ground zero for the recession? And guys, there's some deja vu doo-doo going on right now here with what's happening with COVID. And I'm going to tell you, you are in the right place at the right time, because there are going to be incredible opportunities in this business coming. So the fact that you're learning this business right now is my hat's off to you, because truly, there's some incredible stuff coming, and it's sad. And I want to tell you, I've been quoting Jay Abraham's quote, which is, compassionate capitalism, ethical opportunism. You know, we want to keep our integrity through all this, but there will be incredible opportunities, and you know, the world needs leaders right now, guys. And the fact that you're here means you're a leader, and maybe you're a leader of your company. You're definitely a leader of your family. And right now the world needs leaders. So I salute you for being here. So mindset. So the first thing I want to chat about very quickly is, I know you all think it's the technical side. You think that's it. You know, I need to learn you know, how to evaluate a deal, and how to do the due diligence on a deal, and how to do the property management and pull the financing in and raise the equity. Yes, you do need to do that. But I hate to tell you this, that's about 20% of it. 80% of it is pushing through fear. It's pushing through any limiting beliefs you have. It's actually taking action with what you learn. If it was just the learning, there'd be a bunch of wealthy librarians and college professors out there. It's a doing and keep doing, and getting back up when you get your nose punched. It's, you know, that's the secret to success, my friends. So let's talk about some strategies around that. That's what I wanted to talk about today. I mean, I can talk multifamily real estate, all the technical side, till I'm blue in the face. In fact, I'm doing another live stream here July 25th and 26th. It's $97 for 2 full days. I'm not selling anything. So if you're really interested in this business, come spend 16, 17, 18 hours with me and really dig in on the technical side. But let's talk about what I think is much more important, and that's the mindset. So the first thing you must do is you have to know what it is you want and why you want it with crystal clear clarity. So what I'm going to encourage you to do all day today and is to take notes like you're going to teach this, okay? And I would encourage that, because it's proven that if you take notes, you're going to retain about, you know, and keep your energy up. You'll retain about 90% of this. If you just sit here passively and just, you know, think about what I'm saying and suffer through my talking head, you'll retain about 6% of this. So stay engaged, make sure you're well hydrated. I got 2 bottles of water right here. Stay hydrated and take notes. So you must know what it is you want. So I'm going to share an exercise with you that I do at my live events and my live stream. It takes about an hour. I'm going to tell you about it in about 5 minutes here. And that is, you must sit down, and I know you've written down your goals, but what I'm going to share with you is goal setting on steroids. And it's so just, I'll blow through it quickly because I've got a lot of other stuff I want to share with you in the limited time I have. So sit down, carve an hour out when you have a lot of energy, and don't do it after a meal. And sit down and write down everything you could ever possibly want in life. All the stuff, you know, the houses, the cars, the boats, the jet skis, the planes, all the stuff. And what I'm going to tell you is take the lid off your brain. Just, you know, do not limit yourself. There is truly nothing you're not capable of. So, you know, write down, you know, if you want a yacht or a jet or a private island, write it down, because the simple act of writing it down does something in your brain. It triggers what's called your reticular activating system, which is that filter in your brain that subconsciously tells you what you think, kind of steers you to what it thinks is most important for you. And it's completely subconscious. The greatest example of this is when you first buy a car. You know, you really didn't notice them that much before then. You buy the car or truck or whatever, and you see them everywhere. Were they there before? Of course they were. And that's your reticular activating system. So just writing the goals down, reassociating with them, and and I'll give you some more tools in a minute here. So write everything you can think of. How much money you're going to have in the bank in 3 years? How much money you're going to have in the bank in 10 years? How much money you're going to make from your cash flowing passive income from your real estate, say in 3 years and in 10 years? Then I want you, once you can't think of any more stuff, write down what you want to do in your lifetime. Maybe you want to climb every mountain in the world. Maybe you want to, you know, write down the places you want to visit. You know, maybe you want to write a book, you know, skills you want to learn. So write all that down, not just the stuff. And again, do not limit yourself. You know, I decided to jump out of a perfectly good airplane about 8 months ago, and I will never freaking do it again, but it was on the list and now it's done. So I want you to write down all that stuff. Also write down what you want to learn this lifetime. You know, me, I want to learn how to fly a helicopter one day and play the drums. And so write down what you want to learn. Lastly, write down who you want to help. Okay? Because we will do more for others than we'll ever do for ourselves. And guys, this is fuel. You need fuel to get you to get up early like you did this morning, to stay up late at night, to you know, many of you have core jobs and you're going to have to do this on the side with families and children, and it's going to take this energy, this fuel. So once you've written down everything you want to learn, everyone you want to help, you know, I bought my parents a house, took them on cruises, bought them a car. Write down who you want to help too, because again, this is the fuel. Once you can't think of another thing, just a couple more steps. I need you to put a number by each goal. How many years it's going to take you to achieve it, because that makes it real. Put a 1, a 3, a 5, even a 10 or a 20. Recognizing that as human beings, we will overestimate what we can do in a year and massively underestimate what we can do in a decade or 20 years. And I'll give you an example of that in a minute. So put a number by each goal. Don't overthink it. If you're analytical, don't stop and analyze it. Just throw a number down there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Once you've got numbers by each goal, then I want you to take your number one goal, that goal that when you get it, you're like, oh my God, this is amazing, that goal. Write that down, put it on a separate sheet of paper. And I also want you to pick your top 3 one-year goals, put those on a separate sheet of paper. Leave a little room in between them. By the way, I did a workshop on this back in on January 1st on my Rod Kheif official page. If you want me to guide you through it, I even have a guide that goes with it. It's on my Rod Kheif official page. I did it New Year's Day, January 1st. And I even added a planning session, which is really powerful as well. So if you want to watch that, go to my page, search to go to January 1st, and I'll guide you through this whole process with music and everything. Anyway, so I lost my train of thought. Okay, so you've taken those 4 goals, you've put them on another piece of paper. At this point, guys, you're ahead of 99.9% of the people on the planet that do a New Year's resolution and forget about it by February. But there's a couple more steps. You must write underneath each one of those goals why it's an absolute freaking must for you to achieve it, not a should. Okay, it is a must. You have to get it. Okay, so and when you're writing your description of why it's a must, use emotionally charged words. Words are very powerful, and you want to use them. Words like amazing, incredible, beautiful, unbelievable. You know, make it emotional, because again, this is the fuel, guys. So write down why it's a must. So I can show my wife or my husband what success looks like. So I can show my children what it means to be successful. So we can have freedom to do whatever we want, whenever we want, wherever we want, bring whoever we want. So whatever it is for you, write that down, the why. The why is the fuel, guys. And then put a little piece underneath each one of those goals. Now, I want you to take it one little step further. Put some pain in there. Make it painful. And here's why, because as human beings, we'll do more to avoid pain than gain pleasure. And again, this is fuel. So you want to put, so I don't feel like a failure if I don't achieve that goal. So I don't live a life of I don't fail at life. I don't live a life of rejection. I don't fail my children. I don't fail my wife or husband. Use that, okay? And put that down. And so put some pain if you don't achieve those goals. Here's why, guys. This is what you don't want to happen. There was a nurse in Australia named Bronnie Ware. She was a hospice nurse. So she counseled patients at the end of their lives, and she asked them a question. And that question was, do you have any regrets? And she even wrote a book about it. It's called The 5 Regrets of Dying. You know what the number one regret was, people at the end of their lives? That I didn't live the life I could have lived. I lived someone else's life. I didn't do what I was capable of. Screw that, guys, okay? So this is the fuel to prevent that from happening, all right? So you've got your reasons why now. Now, lastly, you must get pictures of your goals because you can bring these things into existence. If I've got pictures of the things that I want around me now, and I'll give you some examples of this. I'll give you a public example. Jim Carrey, when he was flat broke, wrote himself a check for $10 million, and he would go up by the Hollywood sign. He'd look at it, visualize cashing it. That's how much money he made for Dumb and Dumber, okay? I'll give you a recent example. Oh, gosh, now I forgot her name. Doggone it. Demi Lovato, thank goodness. Okay, Demi Lovato, 10 years ago, when she was really nothing, posted on social media, I'm going to sing in the Super Bowl. She sang in this last Super Bowl, guys. So declarations are really important as well. You make a decision like that, okay? So you have to, and this is how you bring this stuff into existence. I'll give you some personal examples, and let me say this to you. Don't limit yourself. But when I was 18, I knew I wanted to live on the beach, and there's no beach in Denver. Okay. And so, but I'd visualize palm trees and sand and surf and bikinis and all that. Yeah. I was 18. Okay. So I'm visualizing all that. Well, 20 years later, I built this mansion on the beach, $8 million, 10,000 square foot, incredible home. I had the beach on one side, boats on the back side, and I lost it in all the craziness in 2008. But the point is that was unthinkable when I was 18. So again, do not limit yourself. Whatever it is, you just decide you're going to have it, and that's what brings it into existence. Whether you believe in God or just the universe, whatever it is, this stuff works, guys. So I'll give you some personal examples. So when I was 18, I was going to be a real estate broker, right? I'm going to be rich selling other people's houses. Well, so I got a 4-door car, a Ford Granada, ugliest freaking piece of you-know-what you've ever seen. Had a bench seat in the front, bone ugly. Well, I worked with a guy that let me drive his Corvette. And I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. And so I got a picture of a Corvette out of a magazine. I mean, the internet hadn't even been thought of yet. I got a picture out of a magazine, and I put it on the visor in my bone ugly Granada. So every time I sat in that, I'd see that car. Within a year, I had one. Give you a couple more examples, but let me just say this to you. This is not me bragging, any of this stuff, the house, the car, what I'm going to share with you here. I'm hoping to inspire you, okay? Because this stuff doesn't even interest me anymore. But hopefully it'll inspire you. So this is back when the TV show Magnum P.I. was out. It was a detective show with a guy named Tom Selleck, and it was Hawaii, I think, but he drove this Ferrari 308, and I thought that was the coolest freaking thing I'd ever seen. I got a picture of that actual car and put it on the visor out of a magazine, that actual car, put it on the visor of my Corvette. Within a year or two, I had a Maserati look just like it. Last car example. I'm the guy that always wanted a Lamborghini. I thought that was important, get the girls, get a Lamborghini. That was just me being embarrassingly honest. And so I had pictures in my bedroom of the Lamborghinis. It was the Countach back then. It was the one that Mike Tyson, he and his wife bought matching ones for the 2 weeks they were married, I think. But anyway, I had a picture of them in my room. And what's crazy is my son collected models of exotic cars. And I have the model over in one of the other buildings here in my compound. And I showed it at the live stream because he left it here, and a model of the exact same color and style that I ended up getting. And so, guys, this stuff works, okay? And so get pictures. In fact, I'll show you. This is my planner, okay? I use this every day, okay? It's on Saturday the 30th, okay, right there. In the back of this thing, I'm a dinosaur. I use Outlook too, and Asana and Slack, but I like to write. So in the back of this thing, are pictures I've had for 20 years, okay? First pictures are my gratitude pictures. Guys, everything starts from a place of gratitude, okay? I've got a gratitude vision board. I can show you my vision boards. They're right behind me here. But it starts from gratitude. Very, very important. So pictures of my kids. Then I've got pictures of the houses that I wanted. This is before I built the house on the beach. This looks just like the view. I had 10-foot high glass like that, butted together, travertine floors just like that. It's crazy. When I look back on this and I saw this, I'm like, what the? I mean, it was just like that. What's even crazier, I don't know if you guys can see the walls in this picture down here. I live in a compound now. There's these white walls. See the white walls there? Okay. I live in a compound now. I've got 6 buildings. I've got a giant main house, a 2-bedroom guest house. I've got a media building with a theater room, and I've built a video studio above it because I had to pivot to do live stream events. And I mean, it's spectacular. It's like a park. And because God's got a sense of humor, I can literally see the old mansion that I had across the bay there. It's right out my backyard. It's hilarious. But anyway, see the walls there? This is my compound. Look behind me. Is that freaking nuts? I just realized that when I was looking at these pictures. This is my backyard. I'm behind me on the green screen here. So guys, pictures work. You know, and then I had, you know, stupid shit like watches. I've got a few $100,000 worth of watches. You know, there's a Lamborghini before I ever got it, the Rolls Royce, the Bentley, all this stuff that I got that I thought was important. Again, I don't now, but I got because I had pictures. So get the pictures. So now let's talk about what it takes to make this happen. Okay, you've got to know what you want and exactly why you want it. And guys, again, the why is the fuel to get you to you know, to get back up when you get knocked down. Are you going to get your nose bloodied? Of course you are. Okay. And the only thing, when a wall drops in front of you, the only thing that's going to get you to go around the wall, over the wall, or through that damn wall is knowing what you want and why you want it and reassociating with that. And that's actually a success formula. Okay. Which is when you know what you want and you have a setback, you refocus on your goal and you change your approach. And if that doesn't work, you refocus on your goal and you change your approach. And if that doesn't work, you do what? You refocus on your goal and you change your approach. I'm going to tell you, that is a formula for success. And I remember when I lost everything in 2008, I built this litigation support company to help families save their homes. We saved thousands of homes. I hated the business, unfortunately, because it's very litigious. I built law firms in 5 states. I won't go into the detail, but the point is nobody's happy when they're losing their house. And so it wasn't a fun business, but we saved thousands of families. But in 2010, it almost went bankrupt. So I built this thing and it almost went bankrupt. And I changed my approach and it worked, and it turned into a $10 million company with 60 employees that I sold last year. So my point is, eye on the goal, change your approach when something doesn't work. All right, now, let's talk about some secrets to success, okay? The first one is burning desire. Napoleon Hill in his book called it burning desire. And again, that's why you have to do your goals. You have to get as clear as you can on your goals because you really have to want it, okay? To pull yourself from Netflix, to pull yourself even, you know, from other things that you value, to grind now. I'll show you here. I got it on my wall here. To grind now and play later, okay? That's what you have to do. You have to live for 2 or 3 years like other people won't, so you can live the rest of your life like other people can't. And it's so freaking worth it. I've got students that have retired after 2 years, that have bought, you know, almost 1,000 doors within a year. So guys, it's doable, but you got to want it, okay? And many of us have limiting beliefs. You know, I tell the story at my live events where, you know, I got picked on at school and, you know, my mom, when I was 6 years old, I got thrown into school, didn't speak English, and she's a proud Dutch woman. So she sent me to show and tell in wooden shoes and those leather shorts the Germans wear for Oktoberfest. So I got my butt kicked. And then the bullies would chase me home and she'd chase them off with a fly swatter. So the next day, of course, I got my butt kicked again. But my point is that caused me to create this limiting belief in myself that I wasn't good enough. In fact, I used to ask the question, how can I show them I'm good enough? That was this subconscious question I was asking myself. This is what gets you through that, guys, those limiting beliefs, that fear, or worse, comfortable. Many of us are comfortable. The comfort zone's a warm place, but nothing freaking grows there, okay? So you got to get uncomfortable to build this life that you want. I know you want it because you're on this call today, okay? So you got to have that burning desire. And you also need to find out what your mission and purpose is in life. That's bigger than the money, okay? It's so easy to get focused on the money and miss out what's really important. What are you here for? What are you going to stand for? which is, you should outline when you're doing your goals. It's not just the stuff, it's everything you want to do, be, or have. So you do your goals. Then I'm going to tell you another secret for success is you have to expect it. You have to have positive expectation. You have to be optimistic. It's so easy today with all the crap going on with COVID to focus on the pain, to focus on what's going wrong. And I'll give you a great example. As human beings, that's what we do. Okay. So if you came up to me and said, Rod, how you doing? I said, oh man, I am freaking fantastic. Oh God, it's amazing. You'd best step back and go, whoa, get him his meds. Okay. But if you came up and said, Rod, how you doing? I said, oh God, my back is freaking killing me. I'm struggling financially. You'd go up and say, I'm with you, brother. I feel your pain, because we connect through negativity. You can't do that anymore, okay? And also, no self-depreciating talk. No putting yourself down to make other people feel good, because your brain is listening. You have to expect to win, not expect to lose, okay? Don't minimize your expectations. Don't operate from fear or those limiting beliefs. You decide and declare what it is you want, and I'm going to tell you, God or the universe, whatever you believe, will conspire to help you make it happen. And that, those amazing things come from thinking amazing thoughts, from thinking and dreaming big, and having that positive expectation. I tell the story. I was, I actually have I never went to college. Okay. But I will say this, and I'll share a quick picture with you guys. If you give me the ability to share, guys, I don't know if I have that on this, but I want to share a picture. If I can find it real fast here.
You should be able to. Let me know if you have
I should? Okay. Well, now I'm not seeing the damn thing. Well, oh well. I'm talking smack and now I don't even see it. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Hold on. So I never went to college, but I kept studying and training and so here's a picture I'll share with you. These are some of the hundreds of events that I've gone through over the years. And I'm in front of the Bentley and my Mercedes and stupid stuff. But the point is, guys, learners are earners. You can never stop learning. Okay. And so anyway, I'm at an event, and that's what I was going to tell you guys. I'm at an event and I'm real wide. Okay. I'm a big guy and I have to get in there early. If you see me at an event, I'll be running to get an aisle seat every single day. Well, I was late for this particular event. This is an example of positive expectation. And so I had to sit in the middle of the middle, and I knew I was going to be miserable. And there were 2 seats left in this middle row, and I sit in the one seat, and then I know sure as hell somebody giant is going to sit next to me. And yes, this giant woman, I see her knocking over drinks coming towards, she's going to sit next to me. And I made the decision at that moment that I'm going to make it an incredible day. And so I smiled at her and I waved my arms. And I said, sit down, sweetheart. And you could tell she was relieved. And it was an amazing freaking day. So that's kind of a trite example, but guys, you've got to expect beautiful things, because when you do, they happen. Every morning, I do a little visualization exercise. I sit in this recliner behind me here, okay? And I have my vision boards. Now I moved them. Oh, they're there. Hold on. I have my vision boards here. And the first thing I do is I do gratitude for the things in my life. My amazing, beautiful wife, who's spectacularly beautiful on the outside, but she's even more beautiful on the inside. It's actually her birthday today. So if she comes by, I'll make you sing her happy birthday. But anyway, and I do gratitude for that, and my kids and my foundation and my coaching students. But then I'll do gratitude for the things that I want as if I already have them, because it freaking works, guys, okay? Sometimes I'll get emotional for the things that I want that I don't even have, thinking about, because I visualize already having them and thanking God for having them. But then, sometimes I'll look at these pictures. This is my travel vision board right there. I've got vision boards for, building schools in Latin America. I've got vision boards for I want to have a yacht. Yes, I'll admit it. I want a yacht now. I went to the Amalfi Coast with my wife, and I saw the yachts, and I said, baby, we're going to rent or buy a yacht, and we're going to go all the way around Italy. We're going to go to Greece, Croatia. So here I am. Valentine's Day, Miami Yacht Show, okay? And it was a different world then. Literally, the world changed a week later, okay? And my dumbass spent $200,000 there, but which I wish I had back, because I can turn that into about 3 or 4 million with what's coming. So right now, guys, by the way, as an aside, cash is king. Now it takes cash to buy deals, but it doesn't have to be your own. So the fact that you're learning this now, you build relationships. There's a lot of money out there looking for deals and a home that got crushed in the stock market, and those people are always there. But anyway, but back to the yacht example, remember I told you I drove that Corvette. I'm like, this is amazing. If there's something you want, you must experience it. And so I BS'd my way onto these giant yachts at the Miami Yacht Show, and I sat in the captain's chair and visualized owning it. I laid on the bed, visualized owning it, because it freaking works, guys. So again, this is how you juice yourself. You go visit that open house of a house like you want. You go test drive that car because it works. All right, then one more thing on positivity. You've got to stand guard at the door to your mind. Do not get sucked into CNN and ABC and Fox. And I mean, the news is not there to inform us, guys. It's there to scare us and startle us, okay? So stand guard at the door to your mind. If you don't listen to my podcast, even if you're not going to do multifamily, I encourage you to, because there's a reason I hit 8 million downloads as fast as I did, because every week I do a clip on mindset, on responsibility, on commitment, on fear, on making it happen, on goals, on your whys, on all these pieces of your life. I think this week's was commitment, but it's 5 minutes. It's motivational. So, take stuff like that in. Don't take in the crap, okay? Take stuff like that in. There's lots of great stuff on YouTube. I recommend you get some, you put some I am statements together. Here's what I mean by that. Anything you put the words I am in front of is an identity statement. Let me show you. Like on my wall here, you can see I am success. I am a business genius. I am the best at the world at what I do. Now, that's not ego. That's what I'm aspiring to be. And there's no greater force in the human psyche than the need to remain consistent with how we identify ourselves. So you want to use these I am statements. If I'm feeling stressed, which is really just the achiever's word for fear, I will go in my exercise room and I will yell at the top of my lungs, I am courage. I am determination. I am focus. I am energy, because it freaking works, guys. And so anyway, I am statements. All right. I talked about fear and limiting beliefs. You've got to want this bad enough to push through. A lot of us, we'll come up with stories like, I'm not old enough. I'm not young enough. I don't have enough money. I'm not smart enough. I'm not analytical enough. And I used every one of those stories. And that's what they are, guys. Stories are circuit breakers. Because we don't want to get disgusted with ourselves. But I'm going to tell you, disgust is a very powerful emotion. And you can use it to get what you want sometimes. I'm not saying you have to, but my point is, if you think you're using a story to let yourself off the hook, just recognize it and change your story. Oh, got excited. I'm losing my voice. Okay. And I'm going to tell you that these belief systems, these negative belief systems, there's a reason the acronym is BS, guys. Okay. Because 99.9% of them are BS. We have this childhood experience that we think is real. And when you take these negative beliefs and you pull them out in the daylight and you look at them with your adult rational mind, you realize they're BS. I was afraid of rejection or being humiliated. And then I came to the realization, anybody that would reject me doesn't know me at my heart, or they've got their own crap going on. And you got to own that, guys, because I'm going to tell you, this commercial real estate business is a team sport. You can't do it alone. So if you're an introvert like I was, I wouldn't even raise my hand in class. I was so afraid of being embarrassed. If you are like that, you've got to get past it. Or you have to align with somebody that's not. Now that you can do that. If you're super analytical, I just had an interview with 3 guys in their 20s on my podcast, and there was about 70 million in assets between them. And it was interesting to discover every single one of them was a partnership between an analytical person and an outgoing person. So you can, the thing you don't want to do in this or any business is focus on your weaknesses. I would suggest you focus on your strengths and you hire, partner, or align for your weaknesses. But this business is a team sport, so you're gonna have to get outside a little bit to build those relationships, which is why this is such an incredible environment for you guys to do that in. And my events as well, my 2-day boot camps, and we push the networking just like these guys are doing. It's so freaking important. I mean, I remember my last event was in LA. I had 600 people there. And I'd walk in the hallways. There were hundreds of people in the hallways networking. And I'm like, I've got to replicate this virtually. And so we're trying to do it just like these fine gentlemen are trying to do here to get you guys connected, because that's the secret to this business, is it's a team sport. So then you've got to take the first step, my friends. That's the next thing you've got to do. You've got to, like Dr. Martin Luther King said, take that first step in faith and the rest of the staircase will be revealed, okay? You don't have to see the entire staircase. Lao Tzu, thousands of years ago, said the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Now, in our business is a law of the first deal. It's the hardest. It's the most stressful. It takes the longest to get. You're like, oh my God, this is so hard. And then you get it done. You're like, is that all there is? And then they're like dominoes. I see it with my students all the time. They get that first deal, and then, next thing I know, they've got 6. So got to take that first step, guys. This life is not a dress rehearsal. Do not wait. We don't want any regrets. I told you about regrets with Bronnie Ware. You have to make a decision, okay? You have to make a decision. The Latin root of the word decision means to cut off. For example, it's not 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's not 99.9% in. It is done, okay? So, if you're going to attack the island, you're burning your ships because you're taking theirs home, okay? Very important. And when you're committed, you're like a train on a track. Committed causes you to take massive action. Committed causes you to be inspired and passionate, okay? And motivation will get you started, but commitment brings you home, okay? So, again, it's not 1 foot in. It's done. And with that comes incredible clarity and incredible drive. The next thing I want to talk about is focus, especially right now, guys. It's so easy to have our focus diluted. I'm moving as fast as I can. I got a lot of stuff to cover. I hope I get through it all, but I really want to give you guys as much as I possibly can. That's how I roll. So focus. Incredible focus equals incredible success. Guys, realize this. If you're focused on the news and the pain and the fear, whatever you focus on gets bigger, both positive and negative, okay? It's so important to focus on what you want, which is what I had to do back in 2008 and 2009 when I lost everything. I thought I was set for life. I hid under a rock for a while. I'm like, enough, get up, go make something happen. And I did, because I redirected my focus. So another thing you must do, and I've built 24 businesses in my past, and I'm saying this for a reason, not to brag. I called my 2008 situation a seminar, $50 million seminar, because it's only a failure if you fail to get the lesson or you don't get back up. And I've had lots of seminars. So I've built 24 businesses. Several have been worth tens of millions of dollars. Most have been spectacular, flaming seminars, guys. We fail our way to success. So if you are afraid of failure, I'm going to tell you, you need to reposition that immediately. Fear regret. Fear being in the same place a year from now than you are right now. That's what you want to fear, not failure. I met the billionaire owner of Spanx, the lady that does the women's undergarments, and her name's Sarah Blakely, beautiful human being. And I met her at her mastermind that I belong to. And she told me, and she started that company with $5,000, and she's got her own jet now, and she was on cover of Forbes. Well, she told me that every night or many evenings, her father at the dinner table would ask her and her siblings, what have you failed at today? Isn't that an incredible question to ask your kids, not to fear failure? Anyway, love that. So, I will tell you that I have focus, back to focus. Focus is so freaking critical. I remember back when I was in Denver, I had all these different businesses going on. I built a couple frozen yogurt shops. I had a carpet cleaning business. I had these vending carts. I'm selling ice cream bars. And I was still doing real estate. And because my focus was so diluted, everything suffered. So again, focus is power. I will tell you, again, even if it's negative, it's going to get bigger. So be very, very careful what you focus on. They asked Mother Teresa if she was anti-war. She said, no, I'm pro-peace. See what I'm talking about here? That's exactly what I'm talking about. I will tell you, and I'm guilty of this too. I'll be sitting there watching a movie on TV, and I'll be sitting scrolling with my phone. Now, what's bad about that is when you're doing that, your brain is making micro decisions all the time, and you get and so it's hard for you to maintain focus with the social media scrolling. And so I'll tell you something I found fascinating. I listened to one podcast. It's Tim Ferriss's. I love his show. And I get excited because I had 8 million downloads. He's just exceeded 400 million. Okay. So, there's always another level. Anyway, but what he does is he interviews the best in the world at what they do, and he deconstructs them. Very high-level conversations, very intellectual conversations. But, I mean, he's had Jamie Foxx, actors, all the actors you can think of, big politicians, the business leaders, CEOs, Ray Dalio, worth $8 billion, and on, you name it. Best in the best. Athletes. Well, I started to notice a pattern. They all freaking meditate. Clue, guys, write that one down. That's a clue, because what does meditation do? It enhances your focus, your ability to focus. All right, very important. Now you'll notice that you will regularly see me in these black V-neck t-shirts because there's something called decision fatigue. Steve Jobs used to wear the same clothes every day because he didn't want to think about what he wears. Now I did have to wear a different shirt last night, take my wife out to dinner, but I suffered through it. But I wear these because I don't want to have to think about what I'm wearing. Okay, so there's an example of it. Okay, we talked about playing to your strengths and not playing to your weaknesses. Partner, align. You are going to get much faster, much further if you're focused on your strengths and you partner align with somebody that's focused on their strengths. Like my partner's Robert. He's a CPA, done $1 billion worth of commercial real estate. Me, now I've become kind of the mouthpiece, as it were. And I mean, I can read a P&L, but I don't love it. He loves it. Okay, I can lock him in a room and he can live in spreadsheets. I'll just throw raw meat in once in a while, and he's happy. Okay, but again, you want to align with people that will shore up your weaknesses, and that's what makes this business so freaking exciting because it's a team sport. I mean, you can bring in people to put up the at-risk capital, the earnest money, the due diligence cost, the cost for the third-party reports. They'll get a piece of the deal. You can bring somebody in to do the analytical side, the analysis, or bring the deals in, raise the money, and you carve these deals up, and it's okay. I don't know about you, but I'll take 50% of something over 100% of nothing any day. Yes? Can I get a hell yes? Okay, thank you. Thank you for the thumbs up. Yeah. So anyway, now you also have got to love what it is you do, my friends. So if you're not sure if you love real estate yet or love multifamily real estate, I'm going to tell you, you either learn to love it, which you absolutely can do, or you go do something else, okay? Life is too freaking short because, and here's why it's so important, but if you don't love it yet, you can associate pleasure with it, okay? You can just say, you know, I'm hunting for buried treasure, which is one way to pivot this so that you learn to love it, okay? Because you absolutely can learn to love anything, exercise, whatever it is, you associate pleasure with it. But here's why it's important. Because this business is a team sport, you have to be able to influence people. The only way to influence people is, number one, for you to understand it and be competent. That's why I hope you'll come see me for a couple of days, July 25th and 26th. Again, it's, by the way, let me put a little plug in for that. It's $97 for 2 full days. I mean, here's, in fact, I got the manual for it right here. I don't know if you can see how big this is, 200-page manual. There's no fluff. I'm not selling anything, okay? It's total training, drinking through a freaking fire hose about this business. It's $97. And how you get there is it's multifamily virtual, write this down, multifamilyvirtualbootcamp.com. And $97 for 2 full days of training. I'll have probably somewhere between 1 and 2 billion in assets represented by the panelists like these guys have here. But it's all training. I'll teach you how to find a deal, raise the money for a deal, finance the deal, syndicate. I'll have a syndication attorney there, finance broker there, how to manage it, all of it. So for $97, just duh, it's a no-brainer, okay? It's less than a meal. And by the way, you'll get tons of other stuff. I got all these other books that I've written about this business you're going to get, okay? So there's my plug, multifamilyvirtualbootcamp.com. Thank you, Dylan. At multifamilyvirtualbootcamp.com. Or you could, if you text Rod live to 41411, we'll just send you that link. But anyway, so to do this business, you're going to have to inspire people. You're only going to inspire them if you love what it is you do so that you're passionate about it. Okay, does that make sense? You've got to love it. And then it comes out. It comes out in everything you do. So again, don't settle. Don't play small. Discover what juices you and inspires you and do that. And when you're passionate, it breeds your creativity and your innovation, and it minimizes or eliminates fear. The next thing I want to talk about is who you hang out with is who you become, your peer group. Choose wisely, my friends. So many of us have settled for our peer group from school. And I'm telling you, if your peer group does not expect high things of you, then you are going to become them. I'm just telling you, even if they do, whatever they are, both in their happiness level, in their fitness level, and in their economic level, is what you are going to be. The 5 people you hang out with is who you become. Choose freaking wisely. Okay, you need people that are going to hold you to a higher standard, not the ones that are moving in fear right now and fearful of what's happening. When I went through 2008 and 2009, luckily I had joined Tony Robbins' Platinum Partnership, and that's like 150 grand, but I did it before the crash, and then it crashed, but thank God I did, because I was around people that were thriving through that. Like, people are going to thrive now. Okay, there are people that are going to thrive through this, and so. You want to be around those people, not the people succumb to fear. So, and I will tell you, if people in your family are holding you back or fearful, they're going to hold you back because they're either afraid of losing you or they're afraid of being embarrassed because of your success. Be cognizant of that. And I will tell you, love them, but don't let them influence you. Choose your peers proactively. Be very, very careful with that. Now, the other thing you've got to do is identify your habits, because we have habits that take us up or take us down. And my love language is gifts. So lots of my students get tons of books from me. And one of them is a book called The Slight Edge. And it's about those little decisions that we make every day that trajectory our life up or down. Okay. So it's very, very important. Your habits will make you or break you. And again, if you go to my Rod Kheif official page on January 1st, I take you through a planning process. That's an incredible success habit. It's how I manage a couple large companies at the same time. But again, that's on January 1st on Rod Kheif official on Facebook. I do that. Or come, I'm going to do it on the 2-day boot camp as well. So, $97. I mean, it's a duh for 2 full days. And you can buy the recordings for a little more than that. But I mean, I go strong. And I had this last one, I had 900 people pay, and I had about 720 to 750 on the entire 16, 17 hours. Because I bring the energy too. I mean, I don't bore you to death with the dry stuff here. I keep you focused and energetic. All right. Now, the next thing is you've got to have tenacity. Are you going to get knocked down? Yes. Are you going to have hurdles? Yes. Is stuff going to pop up to try to derail you? You've got to have unrelenting persistence, grit, determination. You cannot give up. I told you about my litigation support company. If you have an issue, you refocus on the goal and you change your approach. If that doesn't work, you focus on the goal, change your approach. Tenacity beats talent almost every time. It's one of the most important components of success, my friends. There's a book about this called 3 Feet from the Gold. How so many people will stop right before the win, and then someone else comes in and takes it. Okay. Do not be that person. Remember that the biggest oak tree was once a little tiny nut, guys. That didn't give up. Okay. Keep that eye on the goal. And so, and I'm talking about resolve, strength of character, strength of will, backbone, fortitude, toughness, you just don't give up, guys. Realizing that this isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. This multifamily real estate game, it's not a get rich quick, guys. It's to become super freaking wealthy over time, though, guys. And can I tell you, those of you that came on late, you are getting into this at the absolute best possible time. I truly believe this is going to be literally a once in a lifetime opportunity. Okay. That's coming. I think it's going to be bigger than 2009. I know some of you don't like hearing that, but I actually believe it is. There's 40 million people unemployed right now. To think that, I just read an article in Business Week last week that landlords are already suffering in the smaller size properties. There's going to be deals. And if you've got access to cash and you've learned this business now, this could be the most important couple of years in your life. So buckle down and learn this right now. Now, I talked about failure and the importance of that. Let me land the plane here. I've got a couple more topics that relate to success that are so freaking critical. Remember this, though. Again, it's only a failure if you don't learn the lesson. You're going to get knocked down. It's part of life. If you're not experiencing setbacks, you're just not trying. Okay. Bottom line. Okay. You're just in comfort. And I will tell you, you're actually going backwards. Okay. If you're in that place, if you're not moving, again, Henry Ford said an airplane takes off against the wind. Okay. And there's a quote about sailboats, how they're safe in the harbor, but that's not what they were made for. So, if you don't have any problems, you're not trying anything. And honestly, problems are learning opportunities and growth opportunities. So right now, that's how you look at this COVID nonsense. You look at the opportunity in it and focus on that, because there are incredible opportunities in it. So I want to talk about 2 more things. One is gratitude. I talked about it already. It is the most foundationally important emotion you have in your life. Every day, you should think about what you're grateful for every day, because it makes us stronger if we're facing tough times. It strengthens our immune system, makes our heart stronger, lowers our blood pressure, brings us closer to God or our spirituality. Gratitude is critical on this path, guys, and for you to focus on that as often, daily, literally daily. I will tell you, wrote a journal. I try to journal most mornings, and I wrote a journal just for my wife, a gratitude journal, which is kind of cool that I'm talking about this today, because every day it was about 100 pages. For about 100 days, I wrote what I loved about her and what I liked about her. And I will tell you, there were days I did not freaking feel like writing in there, so I was mad at her. But every day I did it. And of course, I showed up differently because every day I was thinking about how amazing she is, and I showed up differently because of that. And then I gave it to her for her birthday a few years back. So it's her birthday today. So it's kind of cool that I'm telling that story today. But you can imagine how well that was received. But every morning, at the very least, you should stop and think about what you're grateful for. I want to give you another little lesson from me. Back when I built that house on the beach, that $8 million house, I worked for 20 years, okay? I mean, this house is amazing. This giant waterfall from the second floor into the pool, elevator, wine cellar, giant spiral staircase up through the middle of the house. I'll just leave it with this. On the second floor, I had an aquarium that custom-made aquarium wrapped around the spiral staircase. It cost almost $200,000. So that gives you an idea of the house. Well, 2 months after I moved in, I'm floating in the pool at night. My family's inside sleeping. 2 months after I moved in, something I worked for 20 years. Pools changing colors at night, waterfalls coming in from the spa on the second floor. And I got depressed. And I'm like, what the hell? I mean, I got really depressed. I'm like, what is going on? I've just achieved success by societal standards like times 1,000, and I'm bummed. And that's what I want to share with you guys as a final parting moment here. And that is, don't achieve a big goal without having other goals lined up behind it, okay? Like the good book says, without a vision, the people perish. You must have a vision for your future, okay? And so that was one thing. The second thing was, I had been totally focused on Rod. I built this testament to my ego to show the world I was good enough, to prove the world that I mattered. It's embarrassing to admit that, but that's the truth of it. Remember, my limiting belief was I'm not good enough. And so this was how I show the world I matter. And I've been totally focused on Rod. So I went and saw Tony Robbins that year because I bought some books, and I got to get this back. I got to get my mojo back. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I got some books, and I went and saw Tony, and I found out he fed families for the holidays. And I'm like, what a concept. I'm 40 years old. Actually do something for someone else. It took me to 40 to get that memo, okay? And so I'm like, okay, so I went back and I decided to feed 5 families. Third family changed my life. We did it for Christmas. For Thanksgiving. And so we go up to this 1-bedroom shack, and there was a woman in there with 5 kids. And we bought big boxes of food, a frozen turkey, and a roasting pan, and toys for her kids. We called a church, and we found out who really needed help. Well, so she comes out, she sees the food on the porch, she starts crying. Her kids come out, the older ones start crying. I start crying. And I'm blessed to say we have fed 75,000 children over the last 20 years for the holidays, okay? And I'm not telling you this to brag, guys. We've done tens of thousands of backpacks filled with school supplies for local kids. We've done tens of thousands of teddy bears for local children. For officers to put in their cars, if they encounter a child that's been traumatized, they can bridge the gap with that child with the teddy bear. I had been focused on success, but I was unfulfilled. So I know many of you watching this, you want success. That's it, man. You want, and I get it. But I'm here to tell you, success without that peace is not success. I've interviewed billionaires on my podcast, mega millionaires that I can recognize they're like I was back then, and I feel sorry for them. So I'm going to tell you, you want success, give now. And even if you feel like you can't, you say, I've got to make money before I can give. No, you will get the money faster if you give now, and you'll be happier. Guys, we do not achieve to be happy. We happily achieve. Anyway, please come see me for 2 days. I promise you, you'll be glad. I promise you did. For $97 for 2 days. I'm not selling anything. I will just teach you this business. You're going to get tons of great knowledge today. But really, I'm just going to give you step by step what to do. 90-day action plan, the whole thing. Anyway, how'd I do? 9:59. Bam.
Wow. Incredible job, Rod. Wow. I like to watch YouTube videos on 2X, but I feel like we were going 3X in that. We got so much content, so many gold nuggets in just that short hour window. Really, really appreciate it. Anyone on here, definitely be sure to go check out the 2-day event. There's a tremendous amount of content. I've been through it myself. There's actionable items after actionable items.
It's multifamilyvirtualbootcamp.com.
Mm-hmm.
So. Vinny
and Rod, we got
hey, brother.
I was going to chime in to say we have two of the legends on the call. We have Rod and we have Vinny Chopra logged in here, and both of these guys, I've seen it in action, are testaments of affirmations and the positive mindset. I mean, Vinny is probably the most positive guy I've ever met in my life. So
yeah, but
Vinny,
if he wasn't so negative all the time, see, you can see on his face, he's so negative.
Hold on, I'm trying to unmute Vinny here. Let's see. Vinny, are you able to unmute yourself? Let's see.
Bottom left corner, buddy. Unmute yourself.
Let me see. Is it? Hold on here.
Yeah, you're muted, my friend. There you go. There he is.
All right, there we are. Yeah. No, it's so exciting. So, I mean, what you're talking about, Rod, that's what it is. I've got two places. I'm going to close this over here. Sorry. Okay. No, this is the life.
Well, hey, Dylan, Rashad, thank you, boys. I really appreciate you having me on, guys. Yeah.
Thanks, Rod.
It's good to see you, Vinny. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You guys
Thank you
have a massive rock star on right now. Love it.
And we're excited. We got Vinny talking about senior living. We got the multifamily operator panel. So, Rod, we'll see you back then. I know we have time for more questions. We did have one question, Rod, if you can give your 2 cents on.
Oh, I can stay as long as you need. I just want to be respectful of your timetable.
No, of course, and I appreciate the timeliness. We had one question from Rama coming in about a lot of us are working full-time jobs and trying to build a business on the side. How do you balance family? How do you balance time management?
Yes, and I can tell you, and it's so doable. Okay, you got to want it. That's the first thing. That's why I talked about knowing what you want and why you want it, because you're going to have to work hard. I've got students with full-time jobs, kids that have eclipsed their income doing this on the side. You can do it. And you've just got to believe you can do it. You've got to take massive action and focus on it, and it will happen. I'm just telling you, you absolutely can do it. And remember, it's a team sport. You need money to do deals, but it doesn't have to be yours. You can, if you learn this business and well enough to influence people because you're congruent when you talk, it's done. And again, you work for 2 or 3 years like most people won't to live the rest of your life like most people can. So it's worth it.
Yep. Well, fantastic. Definitely agree with that. It's doable. It all comes down to the drive, having the right why in place. And again, we're super excited about that. And again, tell your wife, thank you for giving us some time on her birthday. Right?
Birthday.
Yes. Definitely wish her a big happy birthday. So
thank you.
Yeah. Thanks again. And we'll appreciate you jumping on here.
All right. Thanks. Take care, guys.
All right. Thanks, Rob. We'll see you later on.
All right.
All right.